cursed to exist? What if your worst enemies were your family? Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where we take trade paperbacks and single issues, and we break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then we read it dramatically back to you. All alterations in the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Don't forget to support this great industry by going to your local comic book store and requesting Valiant Comics, or going online and ordering them there. This is a part of our celebration of the newest Eternal Warrior book, so make sure you go check out Wrath of the Eternal Warrior. Smearing war paint onto his face, Galad is ready for battle, and the wizard's talking is just irritating him. He then looks over and he sees that his daughter is on the front lines, and he cracks her across the jaw. Get back, daughter. They will slaughter every living thing that they find. Then I might as well die fighting. No, daughter. You'll live. And he throws her off the front lines before telling his son, Mitu, to join him. Then with a mighty swing of his axe, Galad begins the battle. Blood sprays and heads roll as Galad battles it out with his warrior's heart until the enemy brings in even more troops. So Galad tells his son and the other troops to retreat. He'll cover them. Father, you can't take them all yourself. I'm immortal, remember? Yes, but not invulnerable. I've seen you bleed. So be it, Galad says with a grin. But the tide of the battle begins to turn as Galad's daughter, Zarin, comes riding in on an elephant. Ha! Daughter mine! Everyone follow the crazy girl on the elephant, he says, so proud of her. But that's when he sees where she's heading, to the women and children of the enemy. So Galad jumps onto the elephant. You've done good, girl, but this is not our way. And she begins battling it out with him, going as far as stabbing her own elephant to get Galad thrown off. We aren't like them, daughter. Maybe we should be. Mitu then yells for his sister to stop. Stop this now. So she throws a spear at him, yelling, Daddy's boy! And Galad jumps in its path, taking the spear to his chest. She then jumps down and in front of Galad, cuts her brother's throat, and leaves Galad pinned to the ground by the spear. Galad gets up hours later after night has set in, and he closes his son's eyes. And he walked away, never to protect the Earth or its geomancers again. Centuries passed and he continued fighting, normally against animals, as he left the world of man behind to live on his own. He listened to the sorceress for 6,000 years, and he watched everyone and everything he loved to turn to dust. It was enough to drive anyone to want to quit. And he now lives in a cabin in Africa with nothing but his dog. When suddenly his dog flips out and begins to attack him. He begs for his dog to stop. He tells him that it'll be okay, but the dog doesn't listen, so he has to put it down. Then holding the dog, he says goodbye to Mitu, his pet. And a woman behind him replies, Mitu, you've got to be kidding me. He turns to see his daughter, centuries after she should have died. How? It doesn't matter. Only the last 6 minutes matter. After you walked away, I took up the mantle of the Earth's protector and I tried to fix the mess that you left, but it didn't go as planned. She then throws a spear at him and he catches it. Good to see you still got it, Pops. He then kneels down before his dog. Whatever is chasing you drove my dog insane, and now he's dead. 6,000 years and you haven't changed a bit. Go away, I won't ask again. Galad then takes his dog outside with a shovel so that he can bury him. But Zarin follows him out there and puts a gun to him. I can't let you fall into their hands. Either you join me or I'll blow your head off. But that's the moment a few out-of-their-mind lions jump on top of her. She opens fire on them, putting bullets into them. And while this is going on, Galad jumps over the lions and into his shed, where he grabs a machine gun and he opens fire. See, this is where you belong. But then, 3 men on horseback ride up. Galad Anipada, I am the Sword of the Wild, and I've come for the girl. Sword of the Wild, I no longer serve the Earth. We have no reason to fight. Then go in peace, Galad. Enjoy the death that time alone will grant you now. So Galad elbows Zarin in the nose and walks back into his house. You're on your own. She then turns back to the Sword of the Wild. Come on then! As they prepare to battle, a spear comes out from the direction of the house, killing one of the horses, and Galad jumps back in, kicking another one of the men off his horse. Then he takes the man's sword, throws it across the field, killing the others. Zarin walks over and returns the favor of the hit to her head with a headbutt to his nose. So are you gonna help me fix this? To hell with that! I don't care what the Earth wants. She's just a crazy god like all of the others. I just want to know how to kill her. So the two of them go shopping for guns and weapons, and Galad wants to know what happened to Zarin. So she explained that after she killed Mitu, she went to the village of their enemy, and she found that they were all hopped up on the potions of their war priests. They weren't going to stop fighting, so she killed them all to protect their village. But after she murdered the enemy's village, she returned to find that their enemies had a second army that had invaded and murdered everyone. After she killed every single one of them, Zarin realized that she was only serving death, and she fled into the forest to kill and eat and die alone. But she was the daughter of an immortal, so many years passed and she became known as a legend out there. The woman that would kill and eat animals until the god of the wild presented himself to her. By the time that she got to this point in her story, Galad and Zarin had arrived at the home of the current geomancer, Buck. The geomancers are the ones that are able to communicate with the goddess of Earth, the ones that Galad was supposed to be protecting. And it's Buck the geomancer that explains that it was he who came and saved Zarin from the wild. While she was working for the wild protecting its children, it was Buck that convinced her to work for the Earth, as she was trusted in the wild's inner circle, making her the best possible agent for the Earth. Galad asked why she changed houses like that, and she told him she always thought that what he did was the best thing that anyone could do, to be the protector of the Earth. So Galad grabs Buck. "You set my daughter up to die, and all you do is spout how important it is to protect the Earth? Tell me where I can find the Earth." After a couple more threats that Buck fully believes that they'll go through with, he finally tells them that the Earth is located in California, the White Mountains. But he does tell Galad that he's crazy. He can't kill the Earth. If he tries and actually succeeds, he'll set free the god of darkness, Nurgle, and his servant, Mitu, the Sword of Death. Galad looks at Buck in shock. "My son is the Sword of Death?" "Yes." "You lie! He was dead!" "The Earth brought him back just as it brought you back, Galad. But each soul goes where it wants, and it chooses who they want to serve." "You mean to tell me that for 6,000 years he chose to serve death?" Galad yells, hitting Buck over the face. "The gods gave your family purpose, Galad. You were all hunters." Galad and Zarin went to California, and they prepared to complete their mission by killing the Tree of the Earth and everyone in their way. They opened with rocket launchers, but the Earth used lightning to blow the rockets up in their faces. So they start fighting the followers of the Earth in front of the tree, with swords, guns, and fists, and they slowly work their way through the people here to protect the tree, until eventually, Galad gets to the tree itself, and he sees the embodiment of the Earth. She stands up and she asks him, "Who do you think that you will hurt? I let the wild take your daughter. I let the dead take your son. I let billions of creatures die every day. But look upon your goddess, Sword of Earth. I am the one who makes the balance between the houses, and life itself endures to keep this whole world alive no matter what. But if you burn me today, my roots will die and rot, and 2,000 years from now, the secret doors that they hold will fail, and me too will free his dread lord. So come back to me, my sword. Come back to life." Galad debated what to do, and Zarin even told him they should leave now. They should find another way. But Galad always followed through with what he planned to do, and he threw the grenade into the middle of the tree, destroying it. The goddess of the Earth was dead. Galad and Zarin walked until Buck arrived and told them, "You heard her, Galad. You've only started this. We have 2,000 years to prepare for Nurgle's revival." And that is part 1 of the Eternal Warrior story, Volume 1. There is a Volume 2 that explains where this goes next. Like I said, we're celebrating the release of The Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, the newest story in his saga, so make sure you check it out. I'm Benny the Comicstorian, and if you enjoyed this story, make sure you check out the other ones on the screen right now. You just might like those also.